Okay, so GCSE exams are just around the corner. And as someone who did their GCSEs literally last year, I'm going to be the voice of wisdom on the internet because I've noticed that a lot of you people are still stressed out about GCSEs and it's literally happening next week and we cannot have that happening. So today I am going to be giving you some advice on GCSEs. You know, from your friendly neighbourhood nerd. And don't worry, this video isn't going to be, about the content in the exam. It's not educational. It's just about actual life, experience. So don't feel free to get a pen and pencil because you don't really need to revise this. Just relax, get something to eat and enjoy this video. So my first piece of advice is don't overthink the exam. Okay, now I know a lot of people are telling you right now to say, oh, do this amount of revision, do all that, do this, do that, but they don't really give you clear instructions on how to do that. And yet again, social media being social media, you see a lot of negatives, see a lot of, oh, if you don't do this on your GCSEs, you will never pass. You'll just, work at McDonald's or get a job as like a janitor or a cleaner or some horrible job. Now, I want to tell you that is not the case. If you work hard, you can get yourself a really nice job, even if you completely flunked your GCSEs. But the main idea is that don't overthink the exam going in. Don't think that this is the be all or end all. Just go in, do what you can do because you know your own ability to yourself. Do what you can, have no regret, just work hard, do what you need to do, and then walk out of that exam thinking more so, wow, I'm happy that's over then. Oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. Because if you just hold on to regret, you're just never going to progress as a person. My second piece of advice is prepare for the exam. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you about the content. I'm not telling you to revise this or revise that. I do advise revising because at least when you're going into the exam with a little bit more knowledge, it makes you less stressed out. You know what you're doing, and most of all, you're more likely to do better at your exam. But also prepare yourself physically. That's an important thing because if you're not mentally ready, you could have done 10 hours of revision the night before, but if you're not mentally prepared, then all of that is just going to be a waste. You're just not going to be able to focus. You're not going to be able to truly lock in. And in turn, that will result in you, unfortunately, not doing as well with your exam. And also physically prepare yourself. If you've got a lot of pent-up stress and a lot of pent-up exam pressure, then try and find a way to release that. If that's gaming, then have a bit of gaming time. Okay, it's good to have that release of stress. If you into physical exercise, if you like playing football, go play some football. If like doing some running, then maybe just do a quick run around the block. Or even if you like cooking, just do a bit of cooking. Just do whatever you like. Take some time off to ignore about GCSEs and revision and stressful things, and make sure you've mentally reset yourself for the next exam, for the next couple of exams. Have that preparation, because as much as you should prepare for the actual exam and the content in the exam, you should also prepare yourself for that exam mentally. Because if you're not in the right mental space, as I said, you won't do as well. My third piece of advice is try to focus on yourself more than others. Now, I made a big mistake because I'm just Mr. Nice Guy. I tried helping other people even though it took away from my exam experience. Now, it didn't really do anything too bad. I got really good grades, but the main thing I'm trying to say here is that just because your friend's saying, oh yeah, I did no revision, doesn't mean you should do no revision. Just because your friend's saying, oh yeah, I did like 20 hours of revision last week, doesn't mean you should do the same. Focus on yourself. The way the exams are set in England and the UK, and I think also other parts of Europe and the US, I'm not too sure about that, but the way it's set up is that you are basically against everyone else. It's a bell curve, so a certain percentage will pass, a certain percentage will fail, a certain percentage will get grade 7s, 8s and 9s, etc. So you are basically going against the rest of the British population that are taking the exams. So the main thing to think here is focus on yourself, because ultimately this is a competition. And most of all, if you're helping other people, you're not focusing on yourself. And this goes back on the other 2 points. Then this is your exam, this is what you can do, and you just make sure that you show what you can do, and what other people do, it doesn't matter, because ultimately, again, it's your exam. The fourth point I want to say is don't try and just cuddle yourself up in your own social ball. Try and just talk to people, talk to your parents if you like your parents, talk to your friends, talk to the teachers that you like, but most of all, talk to people that you like, okay? Don't talk to someone who you have no interest in talking to. Don't talk to someone who you absolutely despise, because ultimately that's just going to make you feel bad and it isn't going to help you at all. Likewise, if you're talking to, one of your favorite teachers about how the exam went and how you feel about it, they could maybe also help you out with other exams and give you that positive piece of advice or even constructive criticism on what you can do next. And if you're talking to your friends, say about what's happened on a game or something, or if you want to just hop on and do a little bit of gaming later on, then that's something. Also, talk to people about what you're interested in away from GCSEs and away from exams, because yet again, back to another point, it's going to help you distract yourself from that pent-up stress. It's going to help you relax, and ultimately it should help you do that a little bit better in your exams. And then the fifth and the final thing, and this is quite fitting to put this at last, but once your exam is finished, doesn't matter whether it's your first exam, whether it's your 10th exam, or whether it's your last exam, make sure you treat yourself. Give yourself that award. Give yourself that goal. Okay, what I did when I was doing my GCSEs, I saw the GCSEs as a game. I had, I think, like 20 exams. So I saw them as 20 different levels. And then when I did all the exams, or I progressed through all the levels, I managed to get myself a little reward at the end. So what I did after my exam is I walked down to the nearest Greggs and got myself a sausage roll. Of course, it's just, fitting with me. And of course, I got myself a nice little cold Pepsi. It was on a hot summer's day, so yeah, that meant a lot. Give it as an award, okay? Don't just get it for the sake of it. Do the exam and think, okay, I've done the exam now, I want to treat myself, I want to get myself that snack from the top shop, or I want to get myself whatever, okay? Whatever you want, see that as an award, okay? Get it after the exam, not before the exam, because that could put you off it a little bit, unless, it's seen as a pick-me-up, then, by all means do that. And most of all, when your exams finish, have that reward. You're going to have 2 or 3 months completely off to do whatever as you please. So treat yourself, okay? Go out, do something. Don't just stay in your room bored, doom scrolling on TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, because then that's just gonna ultimately waste time, and you could be doing something a little more meaningful, a little more productive. Reward yourself after a huge stressful period of being in your room and revising and being super stressed out. Make sure you get out and you do something. Okay, so anyways, that is the end of this video. I hoped I helped you out a little bit. I hope this made sense, okay? I'm more than happy to make more videos during the GCSE period. We're gonna get you guys through it, okay? I'm no specialist when it comes to educational stuff, but I do know around my GCSEs from experience. So if you want me to talk about that, I'm more than willing to. Follow my TikTok and social media. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you all on the next one.